Welcome to Between Two Brunettes, a show dedicated to highlighting Canadian voices.
Together, we're sharing authentic conversations with the people shaping the future of Canada.
We hope you enjoy the show. Dr. Dana Sinclair, welcome to the pod. We're so excited to have you today. Are you ready for a conversation between two brunettes?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
In terms of where we wanted to start, I think we just wanted to credentialize you for our audience a little bit. So you are a performance psychologist, Canadian-based, and we'll go deep into what that means. You work with surgeons, with athletes, executives. You've worked with organizations, all sorts of sports organizations, MLB, NFL, NHL, NBA. What am I missing? WNBA, all of them.
Olympic athletes.
Yeah, Olympic athletes. Basically, anyone that needs to perform at the highest level when the stakes are high, which is at some point in our life, all of us.
All of us.
So much to learn. I guess in terms of where we wanted to start, can you at the broadest kind of level explain to everyone what is a performance psychologist? What do you do day to day?
Right. Well, performance psychology is sort of a newer area. And what I do day to day is really my main job is to help people learn to manage their emotions when they feel pressure. So most people are doing pretty well in their daily lives. They're pretty successful. But I'm talking to people about when things get a little tight, when it's that decisive moment, when something's really meaningful, or they need something, or they want something. Those are the moments that I deal in. So I help coach people to better performances.
And I wanted to ask actually both of you, we were talking about this last night, but when is the first time in life that you kind of had the like, oh shit moment of like people really don't perform the same way under pressure when the stakes are high?
Probably when I was playing on the national field hockey team. And over
how old
time,
were you at that
Oh,
point?
you're an athlete.
yeah.
I had no idea.
I guess I was 16 when I made the national team.
Okay.
And you start to realize that at sort of the higher level competitions, you know, some of your teammates bring it and they play great, whether it's training, a regular game or a championship. And other people, they don't quite get to their best when the pressure's on. That's when I really started to notice it, and that it made a difference how you approached it mentally.
And for you? Yours
Well,
was also later in life.
We talked about this. Like, I didn't even clock this for a really long time. For me, my first memory was in university when you start seeing friends give presentations and you're like, oh, some people, this is a really strong skill of theirs and others it's not. But like,
For me, it was grade 3.
I never
It was
thought
a
about
recital.
any of this when I was little. Like,
Yeah, a ballet recital in grade 3. I'll never forget it. We all practiced the same amount. And then my best friend just killed it on stage and I collapsed. And that was it. And then I would say like grade 4 or 5, when you started to like hear people needing to present in front of the class, it was the first time that I was like, they're like crumbling under pressure and that person's just totally got it. So I would say like at a young age, it affected just like my perspective on performance.
So you kind of figured that out because it's exams as well, right?
Exam studying. Yeah.
So anybody, no matter who you are, what you do, we all, I guess, fall prey to sort of the pressures of the moment sometimes.
yeah. Yeah, that's definitely happened to me on multiple occasions.
Oh, we've all underperformed in certain situations.
Yeah. And I think most of us, when we hear the term high performer, we think about talent. But this is one of the things you talk about a lot in your book, which is talent is a bit overrated when it comes to performance. And you say that assessing talent is one thing, but predicting success is entirely different. So how does one go about predicting success, and why is it, you know, equally, if not more important than the raw underlying talent?
So I always say that talent doesn't ensure success. It's the mindset or the mental approach. Now, of course, you have to have the basic talent if you are trying to succeed. So you have to know
and
the
be
skills.
at like the highest levels too,
Right.
which is who you're dealing with.
Right. I mean, I can't go do a piano recital if I don't know how to play the piano.
Yeah.
Right. So having the skills obviously is the base, but it's how you use those when the pressure's on that matters. So, you know, I know a lot of people who are extremely talented, but they sort of flamed out in their careers because they just couldn't get that talent to work for them. So, for example, we'll talk hockey, I guess, say NHL. So I do a lot of draft assessments for a lot of the professional teams. I remember going into one draft, and it was for, actually, I'll tell you, it was for the Maple Leafs. This was time ago. And they loved this guy. He was a super talent. He had the shot, he had the skating, he had all of these things. But the behavioral side of his assessment, he was a bit of a flag. The scouts didn't want to hear it. They, fell in love with this guy, which they always do. Yeah. And they thought, no, he's going to be a franchise player. Now,
and what were the flags?
Yeah.
right.
What were the red flags?
Okay. So the flags to me are undisciplined. Can't see.
Discipline is so important.
It is. Can't see other people's points of view. Doesn't listen very well. Gets overly reactive.
Like a hothead?
Yeah, very good. Sort of a snapdragon. When the pressure is on, sort of backs off in terms of his role and his responsibilities on the ice. Won't go into the corners, won't stay in front of the net because it's getting rough. And, not really working hard in practice, not working on his weaknesses, these types of things. They took him anyway, and he was still a great player, and he did improve over time, but they ended up trading him, and he got traded around the league because he just couldn't make his skills work for him because of the behavioral side.
So when you're working with it's like top performing athletes or executives at a very high level or anyone else, and you're working with them to sort of start to identify their weak spots, how honest are people about where they're coming short or why they're coming short? Like how
I would say how much of it is even
aware?
Aware. Because for me, I'm okay, there's one piece of me being willing to acknowledge it to people and work on my issues, but sometimes you think the wrong thing is the cause of
Very true.
her performance.
Very true.
Or it's a mix of 15 different things and you don't know the few areas that are actually going to have the disproportionate
I think we're really good at evaluating other people, and it's much easier for us to point out and see the issues with others, and then we think about ourselves and we're not as aware.
So I'm curious, when you work with others, are they reflective enough to identify, and how? How do they identify?
Well, short answer, some are, some aren't. So say I'm thinking of an NBA draft that I was in a hotel room interviewing people as they came in every half an hour. And some people, they would fill out a form for me and I could know right away, oh, that person is being very honest. And other people, you look at it and you start thinking, they're really trying to fake me out, which is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a job.
And is it because their scores are just too perfect?
Some of it's too perfect or it's all over the place and they don't match up.
Oh, so there's incongruencies.
Yes. Yes. So that's why you do the interview, because you can't just go off a form for anybody.
Yeah.
You have to talk it through and ask some questions and see what they're really like. So most people, though, are fairly straightforward because it's just a conversation and I'm not asking anything untoward. It's just trying to get to know them in 15 minutes. Yeah. So it is kind of fun.
And do you do it multiple times over the course of working with them? Because the one thing that comes to mind for me is all of these personality tests or value. We were just talking about a values test last night. My answers can change depending on the state I'm in that moment and how I'm feeling about myself. Would you respond differently if you're going through something at home, or you just performed really well versus you just performed poorly the day before? And how do you account or factor for those fluctuations?
There are nuances, of course, depending on what's going on. But when I'm doing an assessment, really the core of it doesn't change.
Okay.
You're after 16, 17, 18, it's not changing. You can improve. You can change your behavior in certain situations for certain periods of time, but you're not going to change your personality.
Right? Yeah.
So it really is just a matter of learning what does get in the way and sort of getting around that.
And what is the process? So step one, you have these introductory conversations, you do this questionnaire, you start to identify the buckets of opportunity, and then where from there? How does that?
You have to agree with the person on, okay, what's making you thrive and what are the things that are really derailing your performance? Because the people that I work with, either people always think, your clients all have problems or issues. No, they don't. I do work with people who either, have a challenge that they want to overcome, or they just think they can be a little bit better, or they want
we all want to be better.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you're working with high-performing, successful people. They're going to be demanding of themselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they are coming to me because they're not doing something that they know they can do. And there's something that they're just not aware of, going back to what you were saying about, people being reflective or not necessarily accurate in terms of the self-assessment.
Yeah.
And it's not because people are trying to say fake me out or fake themselves out. They don't know.
I wanted to segue just quickly because I forgot we didn't really talk about the book yet, but you have a book where you've written all of your incredible learnings and lessons. A big portion of the first part of the book is the fact that there's a lot of myths to performance.
Yes.
And one of the core ones being that confidence is overrated, extremely overrated. Can you unpack this one for me just a little bit? So I think a lot of people move through this world still thinking that they need to be a degree of confidence to execute well.
It's nice to feel confident, and I want people to feel confident, but so many people get caught up in, I cannot perform it unless I am confident. Because don't you guys always hear, oh, you've just got to trust yourself. You've got to believe in yourself. It's going to happen. Don't think it'll just believe and it's all going to unfold for you. And I think, oh my goodness, confidence is such an unreliable strategy to go with. Because have you not ever felt really good about going into something and then kind of
bombed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or the
vice
inverse.
versa.
It's a fleeting feeling, like happiness, it like ebbs and flows. And so, to your point, it's not something that you can safely rely on to ensure that consistent performance.
It's a feeling. Feelings, feelings are out there. Confidence is about feeling, whereas performing is about what you're doing. So you can't tell me that if you've got some skills and some knowledge in your job, oh, I can't execute that if I'm not feeling very confident today. No, you have to be able to shift over onto what to do, no matter how you're feeling. And that those people who can get over their feelings or push it aside for the moment and focus on what to do, they become consistently good at what they do.
And that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
It's really hard to isolate your emotions. I feel like for me, that's my hardest thing. So what are some tactics that people can use to isolate or kind of put in a nice little box for now, however they're feeling, whether it's sadness, whether it's grief, anxiety, stress, so that they can show up in the same way and deliver in the same way every single time?
You're successful people. Okay, wonderful. I wouldn't bother you at all with anything unless you wanted to talk about, certain moments that cause you stress that you get too tense in, because tension throws us all off. Yeah. And if your tension gets too high, like on a scale of 1 to 10, if it's 6, 7, 8, 9, you're not going to be thinking as clearly and you're not going to be focused on what you're doing, right? So you have to first pick out the situation or 2 or 3 that bother you, that oh, here we go.
Like I can feel palms sweaty and heartbeat racing a little bit. Yeah, I feel like everyone has a few of those.
Well, is it the telltale signs that it's coming on, or are you talking about the actual triggers that cause the
We're getting to the triggers. I'm talking, first of all, what situations do you get sweaty palms?
Okay. Mine is straight up the only thing that will throw me off in a high stress environment is if I start feeling like a vibe from someone that they aren't impressed or they don't like me, or there's like a personal misalignment. I feel like I'm very in tune to people's energies. And if I start getting a weird energy, if they didn't say anything, it would totally throw off my presentation.
You're so lucky that
But
is
it doesn't matter.
thing.
Like if someone's throwing like hard questions at me, no problem. But like if I sense something is off on a personal level with who I'm speaking to, it like totally derails me.
On one thing or in a group. Or...
It could even be like on like virtually.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you think that they are...
There's like a disconnect.
Critical of you?
I'll give an example. So like one person that I was working with for a short period of time, I was doing pitches and she was joining these pitches with me, and I kind of got the sense that she wasn't on board with me being at this company and maybe wasn't my biggest fan.
Oh.
And so when she would be on these calls, my performance would tank.
So your mindset, your focus would drift on over to all the hot spots, all the worries, sort of derailers.
And I would be these were virtual, so I would be like watching her facial expressions to see how she was reacting.
Okay, so you got, I guess, lost some of your focus because you were busy thinking about what is she thinking, what's happening, how am I doing here, what's the result?
How does she think I'm doing?
Versus like just being authentically myself and being able to like connect with that person in a way that I approach sales.
Right. But it took you away from your usual bang up job.
Yes.
Right. So she didn't necessarily do anything.
Just her being.
Right.
But it's still my reaction. Like, I know it all falls on me, right? Like, one.
But I mean, but identifying what those sort of hot spots are, which one would be if you think someone's being critical of you or however you would say it. Because there's a whole...
Or like unconvinced or like not bought in,
Right. Or just, she's not thinking that you're good.
Yeah.
Right?
And I feel like that's one that a lot of people
like
have.
The root of it. Because like I always say to Germana, like we've had this conversation of what would be the worst thing that someone could say or like describe you as if you weren't there. And
Fun
we have
game.
very different answers. But for me, it would be someone being like, yeah, like I actually don't think Sam's that smart. Like she's not that impressive.
I would say that answer is the same. You said like is not well informed, which is like I don't care if people think I'm like,
but like
well read on every topic.
Someone could call me like a bitch. Someone could say I'm rude. Someone could say I'm annoying. Someone could say I'm crazy. Don't care.
Right.
But if someone says you're not informed,
if it's like something tied to my knowledge and my intelligence, I would be like I would be beside myself.
So that gets into sort of that kicks off some self-doubts.
But there's like connections there to what we're talking about with this example, which is like someone being critical of me or not thinking that I have that skill or knowledge.
But they're knocking you sideways.
Yeah.
And then you are suddenly doubting
you're
yourself.
Off your game. Yeah.
You're doubting yourself. So you're thinking about all of this and you're not doing what you would normally do in that, sales situation?
Yeah. Sales situation.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So I'm impacted by everything that Sam just said, plus the precursor. So I don't know. I'm going to share this just because I don't know if anyone else relates. But early in my career, I would say it's gotten better. But early 20s, like entering my first job, any day before a big meeting, a big workshop, a big presentation, whether it was to the board, to like a steerco, to executives in an organization, it was the night before crippling. I could not, I was so singular focused. Like all I could think about was the presentation, which my brain was like, is a threat. So it's like until that threat is neutralized, nothing else got done in my life. I had to Uber Eats. I couldn't make dinner. I couldn't call friends and family. I couldn't do laundry. Like nothing functioned. Every hour up until sleep was prep.
Tension was really high.
Tension through the roof.
Yeah.
Next morning, and this is how I know you don't need to be confident to knock it out of the park. Tension through the roof. I am feeling awful. Presentation comes, kill it. Amazing. Good outcome. And that cycle was on repeat most years in my early 20s. And it was like, it was crippling.
Yeah.
And it's, I would consider, like, I guess it's like performance anxiety to a degree.
Of course.
And some people have it, but some people like Sam don't until you had that trigger of someone's potentially judging you. Versus for me, the trigger was before the event even happened. I would just be like, it's gotten better because I think with reps and like time and I don't know, we've like grown a lot as people.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't know if other people in their early 20s feel it as they enter the workplace, but like
they do.
crippling anxiety.
Of course they do. And then they think that they have to keep this stress going, otherwise they're not prepared.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
This means that I'm doing the most I can and then I'm prepared to do this rather than figuring out maybe how to soften that a little so it's not so stressful for so long. And that's where the skills come in.
Yeah.
But again, everybody's got a situation that they
Or many.
feel, well, right, that they feel, you know what, maybe I should figure out how to get around this a little bit.
In your mid-20s, you end up having like 10 of these a week, like 5
Well, yeah,
presentations
especially in
and 10.
consulting.
So
Like, it's not like a quarterly event.
there's no world where I
Yeah.
can keep up. You
Yeah.
just like destabilized leading up to this event.
So, like, talk us through an exercise of how we could put together routines. I think in these two are different examples. One scenario where it's before the high stress moment and the routine or structures you set up leading up to it. And then for me, what do you do in the moment to like recenter yourself once things have gone awry?
Right. Well, you do have to get a plan. Now, I'll take it back. It's a bit of a process, right?
Okay.
But again, it's simple and it doesn't take long to put it into action. So anybody, say, reading how to do it in here, they can make it work right away. I mean, that's athletes have to do it right away. And again, they are adjusting their mindset and their approach, not their skill. Right? They're not learning how to, do a better wrist shot right then, and that they're learning to think it through so they can actually get that wrist shot off quickly. Right.
So, like, first step
where it
is like an
translates.
awareness and mindfulness.
Well, first up is, okay, what does mess you up? Really, what does? Is it being criticized? Is it
people not thinking you sound smart.
right? And again, I'm just going to give you a list of others too.
Okay.
So really, everyone, like, if I'll put a list in front of people because it's a lot easier sometimes for them to just check, and then they start
Totally.
freaking out. There's too many. I'm checking off too many. I'm like, don't worry about it. We're
All
gonna
of
come up.
these things
Yeah.
trigger me.
We're going to come up with your top 2 or 3. So don't worry about it. Because once you come up with the top 2 or 3, the other 10,
It's probably a byproduct.
and they don't really matter anyway. You're not really worked up about it. But the one everybody has to check off is results outcome. How am I doing? Because everyone's thinking about how they're doing, not what they're doing. And that's the big mistake. It's ultimately, if you can get calm-ish in the moment and shift your mind space onto what to do, you're good. But to get there, you have to, again, figure out, is it my expectations of myself? Is it, you really have to sort of nail down what gets in the way. Is it
the fear of a bad outcome, the fear of
fear of failure? Is it a lack of reassurance? Is it if someone's being confrontational? Is it my own negative self-talk? Is it like, there's a whole bunch.
Yeah.
But you do have to be really honest with yourself because people love to skip that step. That's first step.
Okay, so like tactically, so let's say for me, it's clearly the fact that I am either one, concerned that I'm going to get criticized, or two, that someone is not going to think I'm maybe competent.
Okay.
So if those are the,
Let me ask, why would they not think you're competent? So we overplay it. We make stuff up. And in that hotspot zone that I'm talking about, that distraction zone, the checkoff zone, we get in there and we start to it's like Disneyland, and there's made up stuff all over the place. Because if I look at your life, at your facts, why would anybody think you're incompetent?
Okay, so during presentations, if someone is giving like the smug side smirk, like the side smile, do you know what I'm talking about? Like if I start seeing that when someone, like during a presentation, I'll be like, oh, they are like, they're not buying what I'm saying right now.
Or it could have something to do with something else that has nothing to do with you, right?
Okay.
But we go in there and think,
just take everything personally.
The fear is really, really high when you're also like feeling even a smidge unprepared. Because I think there's no like, especially in business, there's no end to the level of preparedness you can be, or like how well read you can be
versus
on
like
topics,
school.
how much you can understand trends, anything.
But
That's
it's
what
not
like,
even like been that.
so it's not. So why do you think people would find you incompetent?
I don't know,
To me,
guys.
it's only if I'm
I don't know. I feel like I need to take this to my therapist now.
no, but you see, when we're talking about it, you might realize, I actually am competent.
Because I'm never good enough for myself, maybe. I don't know.
Well, it's perfectionism, and so many people fall
We're both
prey,
really bad, which we'll get to.
which is, to me, with my clients, I'm always talking about perfectionism, and it's trying to be perfect is a script for failure.
Yeah, because it's unattainable.
When I unpacked it with her, she's like, "It's
Our therapist.
Our therapist. It's anxiety with a cloak." That's what she's like. Your perfectionism is anxiety with a cloak.
Yeah,
Right, because like all of these things are ways that we sabotage ourselves to try to control our tension or our anxiety about something meaningful. Again, pressure situations. Again, most of the time, just fine, you know? But that's why I like people to really think about when they need the skills, what is going on in their lives that they're going to bump up against that's going to make them think, oh, no.
Yeah. Where do you see involved parents with kids that are performing under pressure, whether it's in school, whether it's in sports, show up as a positive, like net positive for the kids versus where you see it causing more harm?
There are lots of good parents out there, of course. Of course.
Most are well-intentioned.
Yeah.
Well-intentioned,
sure. You know?
yes. And the good ones, they listen to their kid. They will actually get involved with their kids' activities by asking how the kid feels. What do you think? What do you want to do? Now, we're not talking about 10-year-olds. We're talking about people who have a bit more agency, older kids. But the parents talk it through with them and actually will ask them as opposed to in there telling them what to do all the time.
Right.
Those are the best helpers, I think.
Yeah.
There are so many parents that I see in performance situations, whether it's music, arts, sports, whatever, school, who just need to back off.
Yeah.
They are
Helicopter parents.
vicariously living through these kids. They want this, they want that. I mean, I've had kids come in who will be so upset, you know, with their father, say, like girls, it doesn't matter. And I say a tennis example, and a kid was 12. Well, can you beat your dad? Well, yeah, I've been beating him for 2 years. So the dad can't play tennis at this 12-year-old's level, yet feels that it's incumbent upon him to start haranguing him about what he's got to do and what he's doing wrong. And it's always, and it's just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's really tough because I feel like children don't fear pressure, but when that message is modeled by parents where it's like pressure is a threat, like you have to do this or else, like you must, like this is your one opportunity, but it's like modeled in an aggressive behavior, and then just naturally you end up starting to, like, as you get older, you have that in the back of your head, and it.
No, but that's a very real experience. Now, as people progress up the I guess performance ladder, you do start to think more about failing and success and what that means. And you can't help but feel pressure as you get older and get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nobody ever tells us how to get around it.
Yeah.
It's just you're sort of thrown in there and hope for the best. And we don't learn the mental skills to just chill, think about the right things, keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evaluate yourself after.
When we
not
were
during.
prepping for this, we were talking about parents letting their kids fail at young ages and the importance of that and building resilience. And Germana and I, it sounds like we had very different experiences when it came to the willingness of our parents to let us fail, and then when we failed, what their responses were. And so from your perspective, what do you think like the healthy balance is for parents? Like, you obviously want to guide and you want to set your kid up for success, but you also you can't prevent failure for them.
You can't prevent them from losing. You can't protect them from losing or doing a poor job.
And I think the micro failures end up like supporting the nervous system's development of then how you deal with pressure and cope later in life. Like, I think that's, you need recoverable failures early on in life is my point of view at this point.
Yeah. And, you know, we all fail and we're all going to fail.
And I feel like that gets into like resiliency too, of when I think about the resilience that I've built over the years, it's come from increasing or decreasing the recovery period it takes from like a setback or failure to getting back up, versus like the first couple of times, especially if you're a perfectionist, it's debilitating, right? And you sit there and you like sulk in the failure and you start giving yourself this narrative of, I'm not capable, I can't do this.
I'm no good.
I'm no good.
Yeah.
And then over time, you start to build up whatever it is, the muscles, the skills, the behaviors that you know you can do to like get back out of that.
To focus on the right things.
I also think what's changed a lot for me, and I don't know if everyone now thinks this way, but to me, consistent performance, or people that are the most consistent performers, whether it's a success or a failure, they do not tie that to identity. It is just a data point. It is not a verdict. So that way, when you have a failure, it doesn't like totally collapse your identity. And then when you have a success, you're not like overinflating and giving yourself like props when like for life when that's really not what's deserving. So it's kind of like successes and failures are data points at points in time and like reflections of like you at that place, but it's not your whole identity. So either way, you should not be collapsing or overinflating. At least that's what I tell myself now. I don't know if it's the right
Hey,
approach.
you've got to do what works for you too.
Yeah.
I love people to celebrate their good bits and their successes.
Celebrate for sure. Just more so like it's a point in time. Like just because I succeeded at something a week ago, like does not necessarily mean that same situation.
Let's talk about this because I think that data point is fabulous, and you better write it down and have it on your facts list because when you go into something the next week, you want to pull that out and say, "Hey, did that? Okay. You know what? The person on here's kind of capable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually pretty good." Not only does that let you, I guess, relive. Okay, that was a check mark. That was good. It helps calm you down because you know you've done it and you would like to try to.
Yeah, for sure. There's a track
repeat.
record
And
there.
like
and
data
we lean.
points of confidence
So-
too, right?
Totally.
So I love all the good stuff. I want people to pay more attention to their good stuff. Like,
Yeah.
love your facts.
No, we do. And we have good track records. Like we do lean on that a lot, but I still just don't love, and maybe it's because of the way that I grew up where in my household achievement and like being the best was overvalued. So I've had to work extra hard, I feel like in my 20s, remove that from being a part of my identity so that my identity is not very, very tied to are you performing very, very well? Like you had to be the best or else.
Like if you
Like the
if
best
you got home with if you came home with like a 94% on an exam, what would your parents have said? And then I'll share what mine was.
What did the other kids get? Is that 94 like in the bottom quartile of the class? Like if everyone got a 98 and you got a 94, you might as well have failed, for example.
So for me, with my parents, the question would have been, was this the best that you could do?
Yeah, that's
and if I said yes, they were happy. And if I said no, these questions I actually studied for and I should have done better, they would not be happy with me.
Right.
So it was always dependent on my own
like
self-evaluation of my capability and my readiness in that moment.
What did your parents do? Were it like
Like for work?
yeah, if they expected 98%.
Well,
your
it's
parents do?
more so, I would say, my parents immigrated to Canada. So
Okay.
there was always a little bit of that, like, and I've said this in another pod, like we left everything behind for you.
I see.
And then you also come
the guilt.
here a little bit. So it's, they expected a lot but it's, in many ways, I'm so thankful because I tell
Well, yeah,
this all
you
the
and your
time.
brother
I'm
are
like,
both like wonderful humans,
Right.
great value system, very hardworking,
very hardworking,
successful.
very disciplined, and I
Right.
attribute that to my parents. So it was like
Yeah.
it was pressure, but it was good pressure
Right.
in many ways.
Right.
So
So they had a certain performance culture
Yeah.
in your house. Your parents created that, and that they gave to you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm
it
like,
worked out.
I'm so thankful, but I know there's also, I'm sure there's stories where it doesn't go that way. And then
And your mom was a teacher.
Yeah.
And your dad was
he was in engineering. So
Right.
like,
Okay.
and
engineer,
then my
pretty
parents
precise
were both entrepreneurs.
people. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yep. Different performance cultures in the
very
houses,
different.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy parenting.
And
Yeah.
well,
What have you like, because you're in this space and you have 2 daughters, like what have you left with them in terms of wisdom? Like,
Yeah.
how to think about
do they get
this?
like side of field Dana at home?
yeah.
they do at times for sure.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think they're great.
Yeah.
And I think Jim and I have done a really good job, actually. But of course, they sometimes look at me. It's like, yeah, okay, Mom. Like, okay, got it. I know. So I will, if somebody's getting anxious or, we'll talk it through. And usually it works out pretty well, but sometimes I do get side eye,
Side eye.
But what I'm trying to teach them is no matter what, you're going to have some times where you freak out and some things that go wrong. One, if you're going into a stressful situation, be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Be ready to try to keep the tension under control. Don't let the anxieties run away. And be ready to stay, I guess, connected to what you need to do to make that go a little bit better. And then that's all you can do.
Okay. There are a lot of people who public speaking is a fear of theirs.
For sure.
So
One of the most common ones.
Yes.
when people
worst.
get up on stage
Yes.
and they are nervous, they are having a hard time getting calm, getting focused,
Yes.
speaking their words.
Yes.
What are a couple of kind of standard
Okay.
tricks that people can use?
Number one, you've got to slow down. You've got to, it sounds so goofy.
So many
You've got to breathe.
people speed up when they're nervous
Oh,
giving presentations.
we all do.
Yeah.
It's when the tension rises, we speed up, and then we can't think.
Yeah.
And
why do we do that? Is it to like fill the nervous energy
it's anxiety, and you're trying to quell the anxiety, right?
yeah.
So, or you just haven't thought about it. You're just rolling with whatever's coming out. You've got that pace is
you're
going,
rambling.
and whatever your personality is, you just roll with it.
Definitely.
You go back to your default, right? Which is rushing, speaking fast. Maybe some people do the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Some people freeze, whatever. So
Okay. So calming,
you've got
slowing
you've
yourself
got
down.
to breathe. It's breathing. Even something as simple as a couple of long, slow out breaths.
Through nose or mouth?
I say nose.
Okay.
Like I've heard like 4 seconds in, 8 seconds out.
That's
Just
another way to do it.
totally-
But you don't have time necessarily to do that on stage.
when you're on
right?
stage.
Hold on.
Give me a moment, guys.
No,
I'll
I
be
would just
right
like,
back. Let
okay,
me do my
we're
breath.
gonna do team breath work. Let's start the session there.
And that's good before
Yeah.
you step on stage.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, the whole audience, everyone's doing breath work together.
Right, okay. Well,
That's going to
it
be your new
works.
go-to strategy.
Slowing your breathing
Mm-hmm.
and exhaling longer really is amazing at how quickly it helps reset your nervous system. Slowing down allows you to think. Because if you have some control over that, then you can start performing more to your level. Like
Yeah.
if you can't self-soothe to a certain degree, it's going to be tough
Yeah, fair enough.
in tight situations. So that's the number one thing. And you have to kind of practice it. But again, say my players, they'll do it between plays. Like I've got NFL guys who, like a quarterback who, okay, before like huddle break, okay, boom, and he's got to calm down so that he can actually go through his progression so he can think. It's not about the skill. It's not about throwing the ball.
Like
It's
the
about-
skills there for the for
Yeah.
these individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to breathe,
Mm-hmm.
like on stage, right? And then you've got to have your cues ready. Like, what am I doing? Like, okay, I see that person giving me a problem there, or this person looks bored or on their phone or whatever. How rude. You've got to quickly shift away from that onto what you're trying to say. Some people, they just need to focus on one person.
Yeah.
Some people need to look at the back. Some
And not
people
make eye
need-
contact with people.
Yeah. Some people
Yeah.
need to speak up, get their shoulders down. It depends. It's good to think about it beforehand, but breathing and shifting your head. What am I supposed to be saying? What's the topic? What's my
Yeah.
bullet point? That's where you have to go and muddle your way through that way. It works.
Yeah. Let's talk for a second superstitions, because there's a whole chapter on this in the book. And as a Eastern,
Yeah, we have a lot of superstitions.
we live our lives with superstitions.
But
Not
they're
just
they're not performance tied for me though.
there's a couple performance. No, but there's just like I have a lot of life ones, and then there's a few performance. But
Okay.
walk me through. So at the kind of very beginning, why do people have superstitions, and what like emotional or like physiological need is the superstition trying to fill?
To me, the biggest thing about superstitions, and I don't like them, by the way.
I know. So
Okay.
yeah, I want your take on them.
It's our way of trying to manage our anxiety. We're tense. We are coming up against a performance moment. We're scared. We want to do well. It's uncomfortable. It takes mental effort. It's a lot easier rather than breathing and telling yourself what to do and
Yeah.
focusing properly. It's a lot easier to just pull your socks up and do this and do that and do things that
Knock
have
the locker 3 times with
Right.
your left foot. I had someone who used to do that.
right. It has nothing to
I
do
just,
with
like,
your performance.
I can't imagine relying like this to me would be like you lose all agency when you do this? Because in your book you talk about someone I think needed like their old red hat
Oh, yeah.
that they need to wear.
Well, I need to wear.
What if the hat got lost?
Well, of course.
Then you're in your brain thinking you're never able to perform again. Like,
And then you're protected.
you need to like have
and you're
the
protected
stuff
from having to
internally.
put yourself out there.
Yeah.
We're always looking for these barriers between us and the performance. It's not my fault. I couldn't do it. You know, if
red hat
only
was
this
there,
happened. If only
Yeah.
he hadn't said
So
that.
it's an accountability thing to
You're
a
like
certain
you're
degree.
placing. Yeah, maybe you're placing accountability elsewhere.
Oh, well, it all ties into the excuses and pushing it all out, sort of
Interesting.
wiggling and kicking it down the road. It's not my fault. I can't do it.
So we axe superstitions with your clients. You
I
try
do.
to.
Yeah.
I try to, yeah.
So like,
Or I'll explain to them, do it if you want, if it's low level, but it's actually not helping you perform.
You'll have to sit down with Germana's mom. who
yeah.
Put
Well, I have,
snake
like-
skin in her purses.
Yeah, I have
and-
snakeskin in my purse. I have
that's-
to wear red getting on the plane. Have to get on the plane with my right foot. If I see a black cat, I have to switch directions. Can't put my purse on the ground. You lose your money. There's so
Oh,
many.
right.
Yeah.
And
So
have,
many.
do they all work?
Don't know.
Can't what is it that you can't gift romantic partners shoes because they'll walk away from you.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Oh, these are quite fun.
These are some of them are just life superstitions. Some of them are
And again, if they're not dangerous or,
Continue with them.
yeah, whatever, right? It's the ones that do get in the way, the ones that if
red hat
only
was
this
there,
happened, if only
Yeah.
he hadn't said
So
that.
it's an accountability thing to
You're
a
like
certain
you're
degree.
placing. Yeah, maybe. I have one more random question, and if you don't have a point of view, we can axe this. But given that we just lost the World Series, Blue Jays Game 7, do you have any? I don't know if you watched the game or not, but any point of view on what happened to us? Because we had the game for
Okay.
70% of the
I
game.
do.
How did it unravel?
Okay, now I have to tell you, I did work for the Dodgers for like 10 years. And I was there at the games with
The Dodgers.
Dodgers people.
Oh, you were.
Yes, but I did work for
Okay.
the Jays at one point too. So
Maybe
I was
we
very
need you
invested.
back on the Jays because maybe we would have won Game 7.
yeah.
we lost on
Attributed
base
to
running.
Dana,
We
yeah.
lost on. Okay, I want to
Okay,
hear
right.
your-
There were some mistakes.
Yes.
Now, having said that, was it not a fabulous series?
Incredible. It had it all.
It couldn't have been any tighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Game 7, unfortunately, Game 6, you knew there might be trouble because they were in Toronto, they had it, right? And then they didn't.
Game. They blew
Okay.
it.
So that's a hard way to step into Game 7 for the losing team. What happened? Yeah, there's just a few mistakes. And I mean, the Dodgers are making mistakes too. But there were, a couple of preventable mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tense game. Tensions were up. Focus was off.
Focus was off. Is that
Yeah. But it could have been the other team too.
Yeah.
But yeah, focus was off in that split second.
And you could tell.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you were on the sidelines for the Blue Jays, not the Dodgers, in those moments, what would you have advised?
Is
Well,
there anything that could have been done?
in the moment,
to
you
correct?
can't do anything in the moment. They're out there,
Mm-hmm.
they're going,
Yeah.
and it's, they were on base. Unfortunately, the guy I think was, I don't know, but trying to be aggressive, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe in that situation, it didn't work out. So, but in the moment, like, I can't go and say anything, of course, these people, right? I mean, they're on the field, they're doing things.
Did
but
you
they
say
know.
something to the Dodgers?
No,
ahead?
I was spectating.
You were a
I was
spectator,
spectating.
okay.
But the idea in my role is trying to get them ready for these things before, so that they have a plan, they know what could happen, and if they can stay calm in those moments, it's a lot easier for them to do what they need to do.
Okay, so if
But
the
they
Blue
were great.
Jays, if
They
Blue
were
Jays
great.
is watching right now, the coach is watching. Call Dana because next year we're gonna have our redo.
Yeah, we are.
Do we want to talk about our performance styles and the scoring for a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. Maybe can we start with what are performance styles? Because reading the book is the first I ever actually heard of the term.
So I call it a performance style. It's sort of personality default. What I'm more likely to be like I'm a patient listener. There's different scales that you can go off of in terms of how passive or aggressive you are, and there's lots of scales. There's lots of ways to do it. But the way I find helpful is to look at, again, that you can have any kind of performance style and be successful.
That's good to know. That's reassuring for people.
Except if you're
Yeah.
a red flag, you're going to have trouble.
If you're a red flag.
Yeah, and red flags are people that are not disciplined. They
Not
can't
coachable.
They can't. Yeah, they can't think through the consequences of their actions before they act. They
It's crazy to think
don't
of how many
listen.
athletes like that have probably given
Yeah.
up millions of dollars, like have
Correct.
derailed their
Like
careers
stubbornness.
Right.
because of
So would you
And
say the
some
red
executives,
flags
too.
and executives.
the red flags are resolved in the therapy chair before they come to see you?
For me,
Yeah.
red flags, they're not going to get much better. And they have a very difficult time changing anything, even for short periods of time. They might be fine for a while, but they always usually revert back to their destructive ways.
So are people just stuck in their ways, or can they change?
Well, they can be a little bit better,
Okay.
but if I'm hiring for a team or an organization, I am saying, don't do it. It's not worth it.
I think we're fairly green flags.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think you guys are just fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think if anything,
There's
Sam
no
and I,
problems.
for the
we can,
There's no problems,
we can
ladies.
dial it down sometimes with how much we expect of ourselves. That I would say that
And
was-
others.
and others. We've
Well,
got
Sorry,
expectations.
Anton.
Well, but it's true. If you are sort of have those perfectionistic tendencies,
Yeah.
you're going to have very high standards for yourself and those around you.
I know.
Right.
And to a degree, it's sometimes like relaxing a little bit because not everyone's built the same way. And
Right.
Yeah.
But again, if you can identify the situation that could cause trouble before you start
there.
dealing with a certain person or the situation you walk into, then you can tamp it down and behave a different way for that interaction.
yeah,
And then go back to you
So is like
because it's working.
yeah.
is the main thing then is like just approaching life in this way to be present, slow, intentional, so that you're able to be reflective, be aware,
always.
recognize things. Not always.
Not always. No.
Okay.
No, I figure like it's not an overhaul. It's a picking out for yourself. Again, what the default behaviors are that are going to get in your way. And the biggest ones are being too passive, not taking, not being assertive enough in certain situations, not taking action.
Not
Yeah.
a problem for
Right.
me.
Okay.
Or too aggressive could be the other one.
Sure.
Too
but
assertive.
those people are
Like domineering.
a bit belligerent and whatnot. Most people are more on the passive side, and it's learning to take action that's important in some situations, only some situations. The other big one is, being too reactive, going too fast, rushing. We don't get to our best when we rush, and a lot of people are really fast paced, which is great, but they get defensive and they overreact too often and cause problems for themselves and others.
Yeah,
Those are the
important
biggies.
too, in like company and executive
Yeah.
actions when you're trying to keep a team motivated as well.
Well, I think in interactions like driving, in the boardrooms, everywhere, that's a big behavioral issue.
I agree with that.
And then trying to be too detailed and tick off everything and get everything right and not move something forward because you've got to check and recheck and
Totally.
you just get too much stress going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's like when
it's not
good
necessary.
is the enemy of great.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I hate that as well.
Yeah.
I'm
I
a
feel like
big
we've
good
gotten
enough.
better at that.
100%.
But
Oh,
also,
since I left consulting,
it's
I was
also
like,
such a byproduct of like once your life becomes busier, you're just like, I can't. Like some things need to just be good enough, you know?
That's my take.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody's going to be number one in the world. So
No. Yeah.
let's ease up everybody. How about being really good or just good enough and then
Yeah.
move on?
Yeah,
Because you get a lot done if you're good enough.
yep.
totally.
Yep.
Okay, so we have our scores for ourselves here.
So we-
And you're welcome. I don't know if you have this memorized or if you want to pull out your book, but you can put us a little bit on the spot here and talk through what some of these different performance styles are, what they could indicate as maybe some, I don't want to use the word weaknesses, but things for us to be
We can
aware
use
of
weaknesses.
or mindful of.
We can use weaknesses or sensitivities. How about that?
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
And again, remember, you can be high or low on a whole bunch of things. It doesn't really matter. It just matters what gets in the way.
Okay.
Do you want to start? The first one is not so good under. Also, I'll say that I'm really impressed with how alike we are in some of these categories.
Some of them and others were like complete opposite.
Complete opposites. Not so good under pressure. And From 1 through to 10, 10 is really good under pressure, and both of us scored a 6 to 7, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I think she's better under pressure than me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think any rating of sort of 7 and above, nice.
Okay.
Okay, so guess what? Forget it. You're good.
Okay.
Meticulous planner, 1, all the way through to prefers to wing it. I scored a 3. I'm a pretty big
bad.
planner. Sam's even worse.
I'm a 2.
Okay. All right. Well, you're in that low zone.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, if it is generally giving you kudos in life, go for it. It's only if...
It's a problem area.
Yeah.
So it's funny because when it is a problem area is when you're like managing a team and people are not being as thoughtful with like an approach to doing something, and then you're trying to like, but anyway, well, I don't want to side tangent that. But okay.
Well, let me add something to that one. Okay, the other side prefers to wing it, a 10. Okay, these people, again, like to do their own thing. If they see a workaround, they're going to use that rule. That rule doesn't make sense. I'm going to do it this way. They can be very intelligent and wonderful at their jobs too. But again, if you're too high, those people, they kind of annoy the meticulous planners because they don't pay as much attention to some things that, say, you guys would think is important.
Yeah.
Say if it were me, I'd think, well, that doesn't really matter. That's not important.
Yeah.
But it's going to annoy you, and you're going to think, I don't care, and I'm not involved properly. Or these people, they tend to be late. Oh, just, they're rushing around. You guys will be
I'm not late.
driven nuts by people being
She's
late.
late all the time.
Oh,
Like I'm a 5.
She's gotten so much better now.
much better.
So much better. But yeah. And to the point on like how things are received, or like you said, people thinking it's not important. I used to feel like Germana didn't think my time was important.
that's
she
the
would be
usual.
late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the usual response.
Yeah.
Why are you so much more important than me? I'm waiting
Yeah. Like,
for you.
why is your time more valuable?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Publicly apologize.
We've gotten so much better.
Yeah, we
and you're not our worst friend. I can think of others that are like 45 minutes, hour late things.
Okay.
No, I'm like a 5 to 15 late. A little bit. Okay, next one. You want to do the third one?
Yeah. Okay. On a scale 1 to 10, how impatient to patient you are. We said we're both fairly patient. Me a 7, her 7, 8.
I actually think I'm like a 5, 6,
Really?
depending on the situation.
I would think that too, just by observation.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Would you say
Lower,
I am
lower.
also less patient?
I would say so. I would say you guys would be in the middle.
Interesting.
I don't think you're on the higher side
Yeah,
of the
I
scale.
definitely like. I think about how I operate at work. I'm definitely not.
you're-
I'm
you're
not
When I
patient.
lower.
When I answered this, I thought more of like, am I willing to do work and wait a long time for the results? So it's like patience in life, like the marshmallow test.
Oh, okay.
That was more
that's
what I thought
maturity.
about. Okay.
That's being able to see the outcome down the road.
Okay.
Defensive to takes criticism well. Like 6, but I would say we're both pretty coachable. Like I would maybe put us at 7.
In personal settings, I actually think that you get quite defensive at first. And then it's like,
You know what? You're
cool
right.
down.
You're right.
But it's when it's like more in a personal, on the personal side. So like,
It's funny because I just went through something like this with a friend, and like for the first 2 minutes or a few minutes, I'm defensive because it's like you're just hearing the information for the first time.
Criticism.
You take a second to breathe, and you're like, I like think about it. I'm like, you know what? You're right.
yeah.
And like it happens pretty quick. I'm like, you're 100%
Yeah.
right. I'm sorry. I take accountability.
So from a performance style, taking criticism well is obviously where we want to get to, like an 8+.
You know what? Again, these are just general notions of where you are. And it doesn't matter where you want to get to. It's, again, in that situation where maybe you don't react properly, maybe you do get defensive and don't take the criticism in the intent that it's meant, as in to help,
Yeah.
and it's said kindly and whatnot. It's knowing how to deal with that.
Okay.
So again, if you're an 8 or a 5, whatever, it just depends on, okay, I keep messing up in these situations and feeling bad about it because I'm not taking criticism well. I'm too defensive. So I need to be able to slow down when that happens again and respond differently. And I've got to plan out my response.
Yeah. So Germana and I both scored very low on the controlling to hands off. We both scored ourselves a 2 on controlling, which you're probably not surprised by.
Does it cause you problems, though?
For sure.
Okay.
I've had problems at work for like not letting go of things. Like
That's perfectionism.
yeah. So yeah, I was going to say like what is underlying a need for control in most people?
Sometimes it's anxiety. Sometimes it's defensiveness. Sometimes it's just
Thinking everyone's output is a reflection of you, which is also
just
something you
feeling
have to detach.
Yeah.
defensive, like feeling criticized.
For
Trying
me,
to
the word
push that
safety,
back.
safety comes to mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Safety from?
That I have, if I can control things,
Then you feel in
I
control.
feel safe.
Right, because you feel in control of yourself.
Yeah.
Not so much the other
And the
person.
environment. I'm trying to control the environment. I'm trying to, but I like try to control
Because
everything.
it
I've tried to
calms your
control,
anxiety.
like people getting back together. I've tried to control, like I try to control lots of things.
Right. So, I mean, obviously we haven't talked. I don't really know. But
Yeah.
it's just it's a rising tension.
Yeah.
I would say I think I'm a bit better than you. I think I'm a 3 or 4, but still controlling.
You maybe even like 5.
I don't know if I'm a
You're
5.
also very different at work versus in your personal relationships. And I feel like I'm a bit more consistent.
Do you see that a lot of people being just 2 different personalities?
Like she's more laissez-faire in her personal life.
Like I am definitely intense type A, like high expectations at work. And then in life, I'm okay with being laissez-faire type B, hands off, go with the flow. But it's like I throttle back and forth.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
I think you're you. And I don't think it's different people in different situations. I don't think I think maybe there's different stresses or expectations attached to work versus when you're in a social situation, whatever. It's not the same stress level or goal.
Interesting. That could be it.
yeah.
Good to know.
So for our audience, there's quite a bit of people that are entrepreneurs, builders. Maybe they have co-founders or they're thinking about building teams. Are there any of these scales or aspects where you would say being too different will maybe pose problems or cause people to rub up against each other the wrong way?
The best teamwork is gained by people learning to consistently deliver the goods individually. Like a team can't be any good unless everybody is putting forth a good effort. Everybody knows their role. There's the individual delivery of high performance, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of founders get worked up about teamwork. The team has to work on this. The team has to do that. No, the teams have to know what they're responsible for, and each individual needs to know what their role is.
Yeah.
And the responsibilities, and
that
they have to
ladders up
be.
to high
So
performance.
some of the individuals.
Yeah. It's got to get down. It's got to be drilled down to that level.
So your answer is for every team member to do this exercise, work on the areas that they've identified as their flags, and then as a team, you'll be better.
Absolutely. If everybody cleans up what is not going the greatest for them, you're going to be that much better. And that's the whole point of all of this is, how do I be just a little bit better here?
Your book covers a lot of strategies for improving performance. And one that I picked up on was the power two, actually. One is the power of self-talk, and the second is the power of daydreaming. And you have like all different components of daydreaming. Can you just walk through the kind of the science behind this? Because I think we all manifest to a degree, whether it's like written or like visual, but specifically with daydreaming, what is the power of it?
Neurologically, with imagery, daydreaming. I call it daydreaming because imagery connotes like you've got to do it for an hour a day or sit there and think. When really all the research shows that small clips more frequently are extremely helpful. So I'd want somebody to daydream. A daydream is a short clip. You just sort of drift off to something. I want people to harness that. So really what you're doing is you're practicing an outcome, a skill, an attitude, behavior. You're practicing it without actually doing it, but it's still firing off the same neural pathways as you would if you're actually doing it.
Really?
At a much lower level,
And what's
of course.
really interesting is I remember seeing this study that looked at people who imagine themselves working out, and I don't think they increase their muscle mass, but they increase their strength.
Yes.
So they actually, like the next time you went into the gym, you were able to lift, I think it was 1 to 2 times the pounds that they were in the control group. So, and that's like the neural pathways firing and like just the power of mindset.
It's good for injury too.
Yeah.
People who are actually
Who imagine themselves improving.
or say you've got a broken bone. I mean, there's actual studies and scripts out there, trying to see the blood and plasma healing the bone and whatnot. And it,
Like how
it
crazy is
increases.
The power of the mind is insane.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So we've got to use it, even just little bits.
Yeah. Well, after reading the book again, I used this technique last night when I was going to bed. And as I was just laying there in bed, I was just imagining myself kicking off the conversation with our next guest, because I'm leading that one.
Great.
And like what I was saying, how it was going to go, how your reaction was going to be, how their reaction was going to be in like the optimal way I wanted.
Fabulous.
And we'll see if it works.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
I heard the example that you spoke about surgeons too, and I think because I'm in veterinary care, so we hire a lot of doctors, but just like the practice of, and it's very meticulous. Like they're having to do like crazy procedures, cut, like sew, everything, but having to like map out and almost like imagine the surgery going well and what the steps are helps them a lot.
Absolutely, because it's skill development.
Yeah,
and you can increase your abilities and the outcomes, good outcomes, just by rehearsing.
Crazy. But any other tactical examples of ways to improve performance day to day?
So I like people to have a plan, like on a sticky note. Okay, before the event or whatever it is, what am I going to do? So I'm going to daydream a bit, see how I want it to go. I'm going to check my tension and breathe a little. I'm going to review my facts. Okay, great. Now, during, what are the most important cues for me to do? It's all about doing in the moment. And then have a number one focus. So it could be just whenever something's going sideways. I like people who have something in mind. Oh, this is really not going well, and I'm feeling really uncomfortable. What's the one thing that I can do to help reset and bring it back? And it could just be a long, slow breath. No one's going to see you're doing it anyway. Or it could just be getting back to that task. What's the one thing I'm going to tell myself to do?
Yeah. The notion that pressure is a privilege. Were you the one that said that?
Well, Billie Jean King
says it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not say that.
Which I love that statement.
Yeah.
It is such a, like, if you're feeling pressure and you care about something that much, it's like, it is a privilege to feel that way.
And we shouldn't avoid pressure, right? Because like if
be
you're
ready
never
for
having pressure, it means that you're never doing anything of importance.
It's part of a striving life.
Yeah.
So I'm not
I
sure
love that. It's part of a striving life. Because we want to strive for a great life.
And I'm not even sure, I mean, I like it, but I'm not even sure it's a privilege. I think it's just a given.
It's a given.
And I want people to be ready for it because it takes courage to try to be good or be better.
That was a very great way to end this. So we'll move to some
rapid fire
closing questions. First one, rank these 3 skills in order of importance. Talent, discipline, coachability.
Coachability,
Okay.
discipline, talent.
Okay.
Okay. Question 2. What's one habit high performers think is helping them but is actually hurting them?
Rushing, reacting too fast,
So slow down.
not slowing down. They don't think about it.
What's the most memorable moment you've had with a client?
Oh, I've had many. Probably a very talented World Cup skier.
Okay. Wow.
And he had a near fatal accident skiing down the famous Kitzbühel.
Wow.
And I didn't meet him until after that. He decided to come back. You know, he was airlifted and was not supposed to make it. And he decided to come back to skiing at the top level. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
And I helped him get through getting down Kitzbühel again.
Wow.
And yeah, we're still really good friends. I
That's
still
very
cry about it
special.
here and there, Yeah. He was great. He came back and he was still fabulous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Back to the Olympics and everything. So,
Incredible.
That is an incredible story.
well, the guy is incredible. So,
What would your future self tell you to do more of today?
Oh, wow. Future self's going to be pretty old, by the way. So I should have a lot of wisdom on this one. No, just to continue to just chill, keep doing the stuff that you want to do, and just keep trying to be better. You're never going to be perfect. Just keep trying to be better.
Striving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, well,
Thank you so much.
thanks for coming on the show. If anyone wants to buy your book,
It's incredible.
where can they go?
Oh, Indigo, Amazon.
And if anyone is interested in working with you, getting in touch, where can they find you?
They can find me at drdana.sinclair.com
Okay.
and on Instagram, Dr. Dana Sinclair.
Amazing.
I'm just noticing here you've worked with Kyle Lowry. I love him. Shout out.
Yeah, he was fun. He's a good guy.
Okay, awesome.
Well, here's to you manifesting working with the Blue Jays next year.
Yes,
Giving
please.
Toronto the win that we very much need. And thank you again for your time.
It was most fun. Thanks very much, you guys.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Between Two Brunettes.
If you enjoy the show, please hit follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast.
We love to hear your feedback and do our best to get back to everyone. So feel free to leave your comments or reach out to us on any of our socials.
See you next time.